rotate. That's back. Now we back.
We back.
We back.
Caskets.
I
don't know.
Yeah. Nah, he been watching for a minute.
Okay. I don't know, man. You might have to
New
change your
VIP.
name.
I was finna say his real name, but I ain't gonna put it out there now. But he been watching.
I gotta make sure I call Lumi too.
Right,
I'm gonna make sure I do that tonight.
Good evening, people.
Yeah, good afternoon, good evening. We're glad y'all here with us today.
For sure. So what to do, family? We here. We gonna make this is not gonna be the long one, but we're gonna make it short. We're gonna give you enough time.
Yeah, we're gonna give y'all a little heat to the coffee today.
For sure.
Let's see. Where should we go?
I don't know.
It's kind of hard right now with the climate of things.
Hey. Climate around here is diabolical, baby.
Man, it's across the country.
Oh,
bro.
no, for sure.
It's across the country, so we have to be walk delicately.
Oh, for sure.
That's okay.
Yeah, for sure. You got to be thinking today.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually.
So let's go back to there's two things I want us to tap in on.
Let's tap.
Okay. First of all, understanding that this whole kind of boule thing that we started the premise of the show is about. Thank you so much. He is. He even fussed at me and cussing me out this morning when I stopped in and checked in on him. So so I'm here. Thank you so much. That's one. Number two, I talked to my partner at the library.
Okay.
So we're gonna be trying to get that the book club up and popping real soon. I was hoping it'd be sooner rather than later, but we're gonna get it going. And once we get it going, if you're in the city, I need y'all to show up, because the more numbers that we have, the better it'll be. Now, if you're out of town, then what we'd have to do is be able to go and do some sort of video intervention along with it as well. But definitely you got to get the book. So, but back to what we just started. This is boule thing, right? So we're gonna hit 2 points from there.
For sure.
It was always a person that had been broken so badly. Listen to the phrasing. It has always been a person that had been broken so badly that they were willing to go and tell who was planning to do what on the plantation. That started also with Native Americans, and it also started with Europeans. Let me tell you how. Indentured servitude is the period of time, typically 7 years, that a person would have to work for somebody else for free in order to pay off a debt. How indentured servitude worked for European Americans or Europeans is I can slip off and go to another town. There was no chains. There was none of this other stuff on them that they could slip off and go to another town and be free. How indentured servitude worked for indigenous people is we knew the woods well enough where we could slip up out of here and go ahead on about our way. So as the powers that be who wrote the Constitution, who were the landowners, who were the so-called founding fathers or whatever you want to call it, what they did was they refined the system. So after they started to use African people, now you have a very distinct, even though there were free Africans here too, now you have a very distinct group of people that might have been branded and had markings on them, all this other stuff, right? So now you have refined this idea of indentured servitude, but for African people is to make it perpetual slavery. Part of it was done by the papal bull that was wrote by Nicholas V in 1441.
Right.
But the other part of it was due to the large number of people that they could bring here, and the fact that we could work through those horrible conditions. Now, artists were decent enough at that time to also be able to draw pictures of people that if they ran away, they could post the people they could go get found, which is where you get the findings of your police force. But the secret that they used, which is no longer a secret, was what we talked about earlier, the Willie Lynch syndrome. So I'm going to always find somebody who has Stockholm syndrome, who is attached enough to me to go be able to tell what was going on, whether it be with the Native Americans that was going on in the tribes, or if people were having secret meetings that they would tell and then come back, they would go listen to, and then come back and tell what was going on, which is the reason why Gabriel Prosser and Denmark Vesey in the 1800s and 1821 got caught because somebody went and told. That's the beginning of your boule. That's the beginning. We're gonna give you special privileges if you really go down there and tell them. You know, I need you to go down there. You're gonna might get an extra pillow or extra piece of meat or extra whatever for your family. We promise not to sell your children off or whatever. Or maybe you get whipped less, or maybe you can be an overseer and you watch over the top of them. That's the beginning of your boule. And remember, the boule started, or the organization that they consider to be boule started as a group of professional businessmen. It's called Sigma Pi Phi. Started in 1904. And it started because they weren't allowed to be part of the professional white business owners and all other fraternal and sororal organization. Good afternoon, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Sorrow.
Yeah. Sorrow and frat organizations started because they weren't allowed to be inside the European organizations. The Black church started because Black people got put out of the church. So Absalom Jones and Reverend Richard Allen started Big Mama May Bethel in 1802 because they got put out of the church because of racism and jealousy and all those other things. Now, those two persons were also Prince Hall Masons. The Masonic rites that were adopted by Prince Hall started because he wasn't allowed to be in the Scottish rites or the British rites, so he started his own line.
Right.
Which they now call Prince Hall Masons. Reverend Richard Allen and Reverend Absalom Jones. And Reverend Absalom Jones is the one who sanctified St. Paul down here on Saginaw Street and allowed it to become open. Right there by the Masonic Temple. Pay attention to the two now. So if you come down Saginaw Street, you're going to pass the Masonic Hall and a church right next to it. Not a conspiracy. That was done by design. And Absalom Jones was the one who opened up and sanctified the space for them to open up St. Paul's Church. Now, how do these groups of people continue to develop and operate? Well, they don't look like they're going to tell on nobody. They come to the meetings. They come to the little after meetings after church when we had the ring shouts in the back. And when church was really church, not church, when church was really church, that was where you had people that were planning things. And so these people sat in on the meetings. So they would go back and tell. 1800, Gabriel Prosser. Yeah, Gabriel Prosser had a plot to overthrow, destroy, and escape his enslavers. 1821, Denmark, BC. Same thing. They were both sold out.
Yeah, I can believe it.
Okay. 1831 with Prophet Nat. Prophet Nat was a minister who went out in the woods and in the caves in order to talk to God, who said, set your people free. Him and a bunch of other people took their freedom, but he too was sold out. How is that connected to these other groups of people that we're talking about that are gatekeepers?
That's what that you hit on that subject, because earlier I had Brother Roberts on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the point that I was telling him, like when we was having a discussion, and I was like, far as these groups, they are co-opted. At the end of the day, when you having these meetings, you remember they had, they're gonna have their people there too.
They're gonna have their people inside too.
So and that's what I was trying to, that's what me and him was having a conversation. I said, man, you got to understand, like, people gonna have their people. So when you when you trying to do, you're gonna be infiltrated by, I didn't use the great words, but the house ones.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta think it was people who turned on Martin Luther King.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even, you have us that are turned, man. You gotta understand a lot of people be wanting money. You know what I'm saying? When you getting money, because he was talking about it was a young lady from the Washington Post. You know what? Scrap that. Yeah, anyway, she got fired. And and the point he was saying, and like I was trying to tell him, was when you work for somebody, you got to play by their ball game.
Yeah, man. I understand that very clearly.
Yeah.
I understand that very clearly.
And that's the convo we was having. I said, when you don't own nothing, when you're not independent, and you know what I'm saying, you can't take money from over here and think you're gonna be able to say what you want to do.
No, because you have to conform to what the process is, and the process is we want you to. No, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go.
And the process is we pay you. So when we sit here and talk about how much money we make,
right?
No, we don't.
Yeah.
Because 95% of the money that we make go back to the person that you get it from. Right. In one way, shape, or car note, house note, you to consumers. You paying
Water,
them back. All of this.
Taxes.
So we
Insurance.
don't right. So we don't own anything.
Groceries. Cable bill.
Right.
TVs.
We don't own anything to say that we could be 1.3 or 1.9 trillion dollars, as Dr. Claude Anderson would say, or Dr. Boyce Watkins would say. That's how much earning potential that we have, but we give 95% of it away.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah, see, that was the point that what me and I was saying earlier. See, when you're dealing with that type of class, and you got to remember the Boule, remember they were educated.
Highly
So
educated
you
men.
got to understand they coming from being slavery.
Right.
When you wasn't supposed to be taught to read or write. You got to understand these people was coming from that era.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They might have been, because when that early 1900s.
Yeah, 1904 is when we got the Sigma Pi Rho Pi Phi was started.
Right. So when you're looking at these type of people, you got to understand the gentlemen and the ladies that was building this, as Booker T, they was doing, they was like the Talented 10. They was trying to build, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my God. Brother Elliot, you've been broke it down for me. The word I'm looking for, like institutions.
Yeah.
They was institutions of learning.
Right.
Maybe their thing was, look, we're going to get the ones who on the same program, and we're going to leave the ones who ain't. Stuff like that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Right, absolutely.
So you got
happens all the time.
Yeah.
So in that, right, once again, when we talk about economics, we don't produce anything.
Facts.
We don't have banks that we own and operate.
Facts.
We don't have clinics that we own and operate.
Facts.
We don't have grocery stores that we own and operate.
Facts.
We don't have anything that we own and operate that is of substance that will create a community.
Facts.
So if we have nothing of substance that will create a community, then either we sit down and, so you can't say, excuse me, and I get it. Oh, the sister from Washington Post get fired or clipped or whatever for saying what she said. And now the climate is, if anybody thinks about saying something about any situation that's deemed by anybody in charge of something, then it's something that will cause them alarm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Facts.
So if we don't own it, we don't manufacture it, we don't process it, we don't make any money from it. We don't make any money from our own hands anymore.
Right.
Done by design. We'll just burn the bomb. We'll bomb the place. We'll burn it up. Move 1985. We talked about that before, right?
Yeah.
That was 20 years ago, 30 years ago. A group of people who wanted to have their own destiny, who didn't want to participate in the normal things that was going on in the country, in the city of Philadelphia. Good afternoon, Stanley. Stanley Wood.
Stanley, Cassandra Scott, Eddie.
Yeah, good afternoon, all y'all. We appreciate you being here.
For sure.
They got bombed and lost 11 people, 5 children and 6 adults.
Oh, you remember I put the stats up you sent me. They did some damage.
Right. And this was in an area that was considered to be worse than Cabrini Greens. And these people, these families, decided that they wanted to have their own destiny, and they wanted to grow their own food, make their own clothes, manufacture what they could so they can be a unit. And the city didn't like it. And I think Brother Gray told me that the mayor there, who was black, sent the directive to bomb them.
But listen, black places and high places.
Right.
I mean, because would it look as bad? Thank you, Stanley Wood, for the $20 in the super chat. Thank you to Woodster. But what would you think? You know what I'm saying? Like what would you? It would look better. Just go with. And I hate to even use this, but just think about, you know what? I'm not even gonna mess with that because of the climate that we're going in. And I was gonna speak on the president. I'm gonna leave, not the current president, the former president. I'm gonna leave that all the way alone.
Yeah.
But
we can still talk about this other stuff without mentioning him. But
I was gonna go back to Barack.
Oh, we'll talk about that off.
Yeah. That's why I'm gonna leave that alone. I ain't gonna even make
But what it is that we don't own anything.
Facts.
At one time we owned the schools. That was let go because we wanted to integrate. Now, and there may be secret meetings with people that we don't know anything about or whatever.
Right.
But if you're sitting in the White House as a leader, so-called, whether it be Asa Philip Randolph, there's a bunch of them. Asa Philip Randolph. They used to call them the Big Six. I forget the name right now. Dr. King, Asa Philip Randolph, a few others sitting in the White House having a meeting. The Big Six of y'all having a meeting with the president and his cabinet.
Facts.
Meanwhile, I get fire hosed, bit by dogs, and go to jail, get beat up, whatever, almost killed, for fighting for the cause, and nothing happens to these other people that are sitting in the White House with, negotiating on our behalf. What does that look like? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are even sidebar, but not really. There are even certain schools, and we know now the names of at least one of them. At Harvard, it's called the Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
And in the book called Secret Societies, which I think I brought, they talk about how and who and what. And I think it was a Native American that they have his, I want to say sitting bull. It could have been. I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go back and look and make sure I got the facts straight. They got his skull and bones that they have to do ritual with in order to become part of their process.
Wow.
Sorry, you all.
No, I mean, because when I was talking, I was having a conversation earlier with Brother Roberts, right? We was walking out, and I asked him because we was talking about the same. We didn't have this on air, but we was talking this off air about because I was telling about the movie The Good Shepherd.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah. And that's what I was telling him. I was like, man, when you go watch this stuff, and I said, do you remember in Rosewood? Mm-hmm. When they had the Prince Paul Mason, remember when the guy that came in and got everything popped off and got it cracking? Mm-hmm. Remember the older fella was like, look, he ain't a Prince Paul Mason.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So that you know what I'm saying? That when you seeing what's going on, it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you gotta sit back. And you see how he was quick to jump in that.
And see what we're part of what we're missing is that we'll say, well, this group is bad or that group is bad. Or there's no group in the world that don't have its group of people behind them doing stuff.
Yeah. Nah, I like what Stanley Wood. I'm gonna put this up here. I do like what he said. He said the Democrats have used the black man for votes, then dropped them after the vote.
Right.
But more importantly, he said neither, not to cut you off, you can go explain. He said neither the Democrats or Republicans care about the black vote at all. It's systematic.
Absolutely. Well, so now let's be very clear. It is about the system.
It
is not about what right we think we're going to give
systemic. Sorry about that. Family.
Yeah, no, it's systemic. Right.
Words are hard.
No, it's okay, brother. You got it. You own it. What we fail to forget, fail to remember, whatever the proper word is that fits in that short sentence, is you make no demands, you get no quarters.
Facts.
If you make no demand, so you want my vote, good, this is what we're going to get. But they'll promise you things, but they'll never deliver. What did they say? Go back and read Fire Next Time, again, by James Baldwin. And he talks about it. His book, when he wrote in the 60s to the 70s, is just as relevant today. That they're going to tell you, you got to wait. How long we got to wait?
Yeah.
Now, other groups of people have gotten things through and by law that we still waiting on.
Because we not clan to see, we be divided.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but part of the reason why there's always division is, number one, they'll give you your leaders.
Facts.
Your leaders never come from out of the struggle.
Mm-hmm.
They'll give you your leaders. Let me say it one more time so y'all be very clear about how I'm saying it and what I'm talking about. They will give you your leaders. You don't never have, it's no longer the case that you have a young man or young woman who grew up in a some sense of struggle and was groomed to become the leader.
Mhm.
Now they groom them outside, give them to you, but they give them the dialogue in which they want you to talk.
Oh yeah, it's no different than when you had on the plantation when you had the black preacher. Whether you
Same
had, you had
exact
somebody there watching,
thing. Somebody had to watch him,
make
and they've
sure.
shown there's a museum of Bibles that talk about how, I didn't mean to cut you off, my
No, go
brother.
ahead, go ahead.
They about how one Bible that they were given to people of color, the preachers that were black men or black women,
Mhm.
the preachers had all the verses were, hey, you got to serve your master. Wait until you die to get whatever. This is in those Bibles.
Facts.
Meanwhile, the regular King James version, completely different. There's one Bible that's got like 500 or 600 pages less verses and verbiage in it. Now we also have to remember this: could most of those men read?
I mean, during that time, you weren't supposed to be able to read, but you know, some was being taught how to read.
Okay.
You know, but
So while you out here ring shouting and everything else, could those men or women read when you had outlawed reading? So that meant that somebody was telling them what to say.
facts. I mean, yeah, when you put program, you can't, you can't go against, you can't let them go against the program
Of
because
course not.
you see what happens.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because they'd be worried about uprising. Oh, for sure. I understand that,
Right.
Stanley will,
Absolutely.
for sure.
Absolutely.
Nah, for sure. No, but that's why you,
Yeah, but right
yeah.
now, Mr. Wood, we have to be careful because if you start talking rhetoric, then you'll end up losing things that you working for. And as a teacher, we got to shut up. But okay, but I don't. But anyway,
Nah, nah, but
well,
due times you do post it. You got
we
to
got to be
be,
discretion. We have to use
yeah,
discretion, be
yeah.
discreet.
Yeah, you
Right.
got to watch how you move because just like right now, it's two. Now it's making the news. You see, it was two males, black males, that was hung in Mississippi,
In
an hour
Mississippi.
apart.
Right.
One was from Vicksburg, Mississippi, and one
Right.
was from Cleveland, Mississippi.
Right.
You
At
know,
a college, right?
yeah, one was the Cleveland was at a college.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hung.
Right.
See, what you don't want to be is because don't get me wrong. Like I said, a lot of people might don't like my method or how I roll because, like I say, sometimes we be just dangerous. But you got to understand your climate.
Yeah.
See, it's a thing called getting everybody across the finish line.
Right. No,
We
you're
want
right.
everybody across it
Right.
and don't leave
Absolutely.
nobody behind. And this is how, and I'm gonna correlate that into counsel as you seeing how things go on. Because me and Brother Roberts was having this conversation when I was telling him, when I was like, man, going back to what you said with that HIV infected
Right.
virus.
Right.
I mean, hood infected
virus.
Hood infected virus.
Right.
Let me get that right. Hood infected virus. You got to understand. Like even with this, when I was mentioning earlier to him when we was having a conversation, I'm like, dude, because we can holler at, we can say the NAACP, we can say Black Lives Matter, we can say man, all these organizations, even the activists here. Do you understand what happened to the Black Panthers?
Mm-hmm.
You understand that if you really a threat to what's going on, you ain't gotta tell me what type of person you is.
Mm-hmm.
I know how they respond to threats.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're not a threat.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. When you become a threat, And the threat, because I can come out when you putting change. You see, when the Black Panthers was doing their job, it was called what they was trying to do: wake the people, education.
Right, education.
You know what I'm saying? Started a food program.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even though it was for gun, they got the on the gun fires, the gun things. What they did it for was for really for protection.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But if you notice, they had class. Why did they have class to try to educate the people on the gun laws, on laws that was going on? You had something that was defending themselves. It's one thing reading, but do you understand in what you read?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A person can read, but do you understand what's going on?
Yeah. And how is it applicable to whatever you're reading? How are you applying that to whatever the situation is?
Oh, no, for sure, Stan. I know you'll fight to the die because that's what you'll do. But you know what I'm saying? But I get what you're saying, but you still, like, you got to, you know what I'm saying, doing times like this, like I'm telling you, I done seen some strange, what my mother always say, live long enough, you will see it. Right. I know you got to see this time. See, a lot of us that grew up, we don't really understand the climate on what's going on.
No.
A lot of people don't understand. And we get on YouTube and go see it. Like I say, I tell you, go get the book Without Sanctuary. That's cool seeing it. You can go back and look in time, but actually to have that happen to you, it's diabolical.
And see, what we gotta forget, what we don't understand is they're sending a message again.
Yeah.
See how easy this is to do again? We'll do it again.
Right.
They're sending a message.
Yeah, yeah.
And we, need to be watchful.
Yeah.
And careful as how we move because they're sending a message.
Yeah, I mean, it was getting sent. Just think about council.
Well, it's harsher now.
Yeah, how the police is really now, and y'all family tune in at 6. The council gonna get broke down. But I'm saying, as you seeing stuff that's just going on, fires with, you know what I'm saying, like the handling. You know what I'm saying, the handling how people being handled. You know what I'm saying, just look at certain laws that's being passed. They don't really want people protesting. It's a lot of things, strange things that's going on that I don't think people understand really the climate. Because like you remember, they said people will be partying in the last day.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Like you would get caught up, you would be caught playing. No, thank you, Stanley Wood. Thank you for again for another 10 years. Thank you with the super chat, the $10. No, for sure. No, you have to really be. It's one thing that, you know what I'm saying, like they say, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. And you got to be thinking on what's going on. Even like, because I didn't forgot, like I said with the activists, with all the stuff going on, do you understand that people who support the other people be supporting our activists too?
Listen, okay, in a book called None Dare Call It Conspiracy,
right,
they tell us that.
Right.
That, I'm going to support you, but I'm going to also support the other side, right?
Yeah.
That's like if you bet on boxing, you
right.
bet on both fighters.
Facts.
Just because. Now, somebody, hey, look, I trust this one over here more. I'm going to put a little bit more on this fighter than I do this one because I see how this one operate. Okay, this weekend we had a big super fight, right?
Facts.
People bet on both sides.
Yeah.
So I might lose $100 here, but I might win $1 million over here.
Yeah. All facts.
But that's how those businesses operate.
Right.
That's how those persons operate. They operate on, okay, well, we in a war, so I'm going to support both sides. So if one side win, I'm still going to win. The other side win, I'm going to win on both sides. I might lose a little bit over here, but I'm going to win when all the stakes is pulled. I'm still going to win.
Yeah, because people ain't understanding this. The dude who threw it, he done took over. It seemed like boxing. Al-Sheik, I might be saying his name wrong.
Yeah.
I might be saying his name wrong, but just understand this to show you how the game go. Do you understand? Canelo made $150
million,
but because he the golden now, he was he was the money draw. You got to understand the money draw. Now Bud then beat him. He finna be the big money draw now. You know what I'm saying? He finna get the money where you can go ahead, and that's where Al-Sheik, what he gonna do? Because I watched this with De La Hoya doing the Mayweather. Y'all remember Richard Schaefer?
Right.
If people forget who Richard Schaefer is. Why did he end up in Mayweather camp? Remember, he was with Golden Boy, but then he came part of Team Money.
Yep.
The
That's
money
right.
team, you know
Yep.
why? Because Mayweather was the one was getting the fights where the money was at.
That's right.
He would know it ain't personal. It's business.
It's strictly
Right.
business.
You go
And
to
that's
the
what
you go to the person who popping. You know
right.
what I'm saying? He
And
didn't
that,
need De La Hoya no more.
right.
Just
And
like when
that's
Javante Davis left.
right. And it's the same thing when Floyd left Bob Arum. He bought
Fact.
his contract out because he was shrewd enough to understand that I can make my own money and
Fact.
negotiate my own thing,
Fact.
and I don't need you as a promoter. I'll promote it
Fact.
myself.
Facts.
This is the same thing.
Yeah.
These business ideas, and their business, sometimes it's not the healthiest of business,
Right.
but their business, there's always like you said, it's transactional.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I'm a council person, let's say I'm a council person. If I'm not playing the game, how long you think I'm gonna be a council person?
Nah, they get
About 15 minutes.
Yeah, they get you out of there for not playing. You got to play ball.
You got to play ball. But the issue is, if we're gonna play ball, cool. You can want me to deliver, but you got to deliver me out as well. 99% of the time, going back to what Mr. Wood said, is we'll call on the black vote, get them impassioned about voting, have them come out and vote, but we're not going to ever deliver on the goods because we formerly owned you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's wicked, man. It's wicked when you go back and look at it. But like I was telling Brother Roberts earlier, I said, dude, how you expect when did Kanye had problems?
When he said something about Jewish
people. No. Before that, when he wanted to be independent, when he was like, nah, remember he left, he walked away from Adidas.
Well, but did he walk away or did they cut him loose?
I mean, they had to cut him loose. Remember, he wanted to have his own.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Puffy, with Diageo. Remember, they told him, no, we giving you $60 million a year, but he wanted to have his own.
Right.
You're not going to be able to get your own. This the thing is, you're going to come up under us. We're going to do this, but we giving you money.
Right.
And that's where, sometimes people be looking at, but that's like anybody in business, you'll look at it like, damn, once you get, because you got to understand, Puffy looking at this, and we'll go back, Puffy looking at, he was looking, even Kanye, okay, I got about 400-500 million. I can go do this, you know what I'm saying, go get these plants myself and do it myself while I'm just making 60. I might want to make, you know what I'm saying, 4 or 5 billion. You know what I'm saying? Right. Cut out the middleman. I want to deal with these, you know what I'm saying, with these people over here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's the thing here. No, you can't do that. That's why you think, why you don't see you see no black owner owning no football. You know what I'm saying?
Because it's
baseball.
Exclusive. It's no different than the landowners when they wrote the Constitution.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the original Constitution, and I'm gonna say this again, in the original Constitution, it says the indigenous savages and those persons, those not persons, those considered to be 3/5. That's across the board.
Oh no, for sure. Even if
it's oh yeah, we free. No, you're not. In this land that we own and occupy, you don't own nothing. And even if you think you do, we'll sit around there and write a law that says you don't, and we'll take your stuff. They've been doing it.
No, this ain't nothing new. It's just, but that's what I'm saying. Why you think, and we had this conversation too, why you think they wanted to have you a degree? Remember, to be an agent, you didn't have to have no degree.
No, heck no.
But when LeBron hired his friend Maverick Carter, that became a super agent. You putting somebody out of business.
Right.
So you got to understand, what if the next black athlete want to say, no, I'm going to take my homeboy?
Well,
who the majority playing in basketball?
Look at what Jaylen Brown from the Boston Celtics did.
Yeah, but see, them like 1 or 2, but when you
ain't gonna get a whole, you ain't gonna get a whole.
That's the point, right? And that's why they try to shut it down,
right?
Because we gonna deter you from wanting to do this, and that's the thing. You gonna just look at Deion. Remember, he didn't want his sons because he knew the game. Then he was their agent,
right?
They didn't get drafted until what?
4th and never.
Until they got
5th
agents.
round and never.
Until
then they got agents, right?
They had to get it because you're gonna play the game,
right?
You know what I'm saying? We will show you when you don't own it. That's why I'm like, when you don't own yours, you damn near at the mercy.
You are. There ain't no damn near. Yeah. You are at the mercy.
Yeah, because they're gonna get you geeked up, and let's be honest, people don't want to go back, and that's what I forgot. I had lost train of thought earlier with Brother Robert. Don't nobody want to, man, I done got you out of the ghetto.
Right.
You able to be up here with us. Like Donald Sterling, much as people, he is what he was. But he did tell some truth. I feed them.
That's right.
I clothe them.
That's right.
I get them their houses. How and other they gonna get some, how they gonna have houses with if it ain't for me?
That's right.
And I mean, you just gotta be and you know.
But we all and even if we're looking at the structure of those ideas, the Coliseum,
Fact.
This arena.
Right.
You know, you're building multi-billion-dollar arenas off the taxpayers' back.
Facts.
And then you turn around and charge them to go to a Lions game right now. As because they are.
Because they're winning.
Because they're winning. It's almost $1,000
for sure.
For one day.
Yeah.
One game.
Yeah, depending on where you want to sit at, for sure.
You know, so if you take a family of 4, y'all gonna eat, y'all gonna do this, y'all do that's minimally $1,000.
Yeah.
Minimally.
Yeah. Do you understand they don't really want to me, it's like they don't want poor people watching it. They want people
you want to
money.
eliminate that's the reason why you're eliminating a population
Facts.
that enjoy
right
watching sports because it's a stress reliever and I can get away.
Right.
It's a getaway.
Yeah.
But we don't want we don't want you. But that's the same thing that happened after the Southern plantation owners had to quote unquote give up their property in which they were paid for. Okay, they were paid for. And then the persons that were former property had to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
There was no 40 acres in the mule that was the promise. They had to go figure it out.
Right.
And when some of them did and they built towns, we can't have that. We'll burn your town down and we'll find an excuse, the reason why we did it. We'll kill a few people, burn your town down, because the reality is your town is competing against our town. Facts. And our people are coming over there as business owners buying your product because it's better than ours. Because what? You had all of these 200, 300, 400 years of honing your set of skills. Building bricks, making lumber, building homes. Meanwhile, we sitting around here drinking mint juleps and lemonade.
Yeah.
So I had to destroy those towns in order to regain my money back because I lost it. So even though I didn't get 40 acres in the mule, it turns around and I'm going to go ahead on. We'll just go ahead on and build it anyway.
For sure.
Even if we didn't get nothing that you promised us. And here's the thing. We still play the game like their promises mean something, and they never have and never will.
For sure.
And that's just politics. So come November or whenever, the 26th, right?
Mm-hmm.
Coming in 2026, then you're going to have all of these politicians running to the churches, asking folks to vote for them. And you're going to have all of those boule leadership saying vote for this particular person because they getting something out of the promise, but you sitting down in the congregation is not.
Oh, that's the game. You got a couple minutes too, brother. You want to...
Well, let me say this. We just had to kind of tread very lightly in this new arena that we're in because it's volatile. Be very careful. The truth is out there, as they would say in X-Files. But we have to be careful how we handle and give the truth. But that don't mean go seeking it and look for it and give it to those who are willing to listen. And on that note, family, we'll catch y'all on Sunday, right?
You know we on Sunday, and we probably be doing something. You might see me and Brother Elliot Saturday and Sunday, to keep this going.
Yeah,
we doing some changing out.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because I had to do something. So you probably gonna be seeing this Saturday, most likely Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Back to back, we'll knock it out in the morning if he
Right.
ain't got nothing to do.
Right. I belong. Hey, you know how I travel.
For sure.
I already got my computer with me, so if we
Right.
need to do it remotely, we can do it remotely as well.
Right, and we're gonna get it done because I
Yeah.
wanna finish this conversation.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
we want to. Yeah, because y'all new show times coming on.
Yeah, 6 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And that give me like get the people 20 minutes to go ahead and get ready, and that's why I went ahead and started.
Now understand this. Now I'm gonna put this bug in Young Winter's ear.
Right.
You following fire? You better bring it.
For sure.
You following fire? You better bring it. I know you out there, sis, but you got some fire to follow, so you got to bring it. Because if not, we're gonna holler at you.
For sure.
Family, appreciate it. As soon as we get the setup for the book club, we'll let y'all know. Brother Stanley, thank you for coming on. Merk, all y'all that come on and hang out with us, we appreciate y'all coming on and hanging out with us. Keep hanging. I know it's a little short today, but you got your hot. You ain't got a what do they call it? Ain't no minute rice.
Right.
You ain't got no minute rice. You got something to chew on.
For sure.
But like I said, be careful, family. Watch how we roll. All right.
Peace.
Peace.